you got to fight Nikita, and so they're shielding Tim with his brother, and if I have to go through him to get Tim, so be it. He finds his balls behind cameras, but when it comes fight time, or I'm standing in front of him, he's got nothing to say. They somehow go to his throat.
They're all beatable, and I have studied both of those fighters very carefully. I know their weaknesses, I know their strengths, and yes, can I construct a plan to beat Nikita or Tim? Absolutely. You ask the questions and we'll give you the answers, yeah.
So how did this partnership happen?
So obviously I've got a fight contract in place with certain people on there. I'm not sure if I can say or not, but Nikita and Tim being on that fight plan. So I went through obviously everybody, and the best that came to mind was Glen. Obviously he's been in the corner with Jeff Horn. He's cornered world champion fights. His background in mixed martial arts and the fight game, and obviously me fighting Horn and Horn fighting Tszyu. He's been alongside both. So for me, no one really suited the part better than Glen. So I'm super grateful for him, and obviously we had our past. Because everyone's going, oh, they've partnered up and it's going crazy. But like I said, there was nothing malice towards Glen, or it was just a fight. We had to sell the fight and we sold it. And like I said, I'm super grateful for his knowledge and his brain moving into these next few fights.
And I guess even from you, what was it like getting the call from yourself? Like, did you ever think this would happen?
Yeah, look, it's Michael and I have spoken obviously since the Horn fight, and in fact we're even talking about training Michael at one point about a year or so ago, that just logistically at that point didn't sort of really work for us, with Michael being in Melbourne and so forth, and various commitments. But yeah, we've stayed in touch and had a couple of conversations and stuff, so we've had a good relationship. And yeah, look, it was pretty heated with those two Horn fights, but we're both big enough that it doesn't bother us. As I said, no one can bully you without your consent. No one can get under my skin. I mean, I've had everybody we've had Freddie Roach try with the Horn fight, we've had the Crawford team and all of that, and no one gets under my skin. It doesn't bother me because I know who I am. And when Michael reached out, it wasn't like we didn't have to go back and bury the hatchet or anything. It was just, hey, Michael, no problem. Come up, and he come up to my place, we sat down, we had a chat and everything like that. So when he called, or when No Limit approached me about this relationship, would I work with Michael? I didn't have any qualms about that at all. I said, yeah, look, I'm happy to work with Michael. I like Michael. I like his lady Celine. I think they're wonderful people, and he's got a dream. He's got the ability, and it's sad when you see someone who's got the dream, they've got the commitment, and they just don't seem to be getting the opportunities. And as I always said to Jeff, when you back belief with commitment, that's when the magic happens. You got to get the belief and the commitment together. And one thing that Michael has is commitment. He has that commitment. He's prepared to do whatever it takes. And if I can help him to realise that dream and see another great Australian boxer on the world scene and make him a world champion, if I can be a part of that, then I'm happy to help him. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, me and Jeff Horn had two of the biggest fights in Australia. They were wars. We're one apiece. And like I said, we got to work together. I mean, obviously not in the same corner, but I know what he's about. I know the kind of trainer he is, the kind of man he is, and absolute gentleman. So, like I said, to add that to the arsenal of my training camp and my fights, I'm super grateful because, like I said, I know his brain and he knows the sport. He's cornered, the victory between Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao. So, not many, if any, have ever done that. So, like I said, it just comes back to being so grateful, and for Glen and his family to help elevate me to that next level. I fell short in Vegas, and I put that down to just the ring rust and being out of the ring for nearly 2 years and whatnot. But I don't dwell on the past. I'm humble in victory and humble in defeat, and it's time now to move forward and put it all behind me.
Dude, obviously, let's talk about when you've cornered against Michael Zerafa. Like, what are some of the things that you would notice that was great about him that you would stand out to you?
The hair.
Oh, definitely the hair, yeah, and the earrings, yeah.
The earrings, the hair. So.
And so his fashion sense is fantastic, by the way, yeah, impeccable. Look, I said to Jeff when we fought Michael the first time, I said, there's one thing you've got to do to beat Michael is you must be very fit, okay? He's an incredibly hard-working, fit guy. Jeff, you must be fit. Did Jeff underestimate him? Yes, okay? And I said to Jeff, I said, don't do that, but he did. Unfortunately, you get to a certain point in your career and you think you're virtually just going to walk in there and roll someone easy. So he made a fatal mistake there in underestimating him and kept saying, don't, did you do this? But it is what it is, and of course I had to flog him for the second fight, and I basically, probably a good analogy if you've ever watched the movie Far Lap, where they've got Far Lap running up those sand dunes. I don't know if you ever saw the movie, but he's just literally flogging that horse and lather of sweat, and that's virtually what I did to Jeff in the very short turnaround time that we had to fight Michael, because he hummed and hard over it for about 6 weeks, and we only had 3 months to enact the rematch clause. So it was a real fast turnaround, and I had to put Jeff through hell to get the job done in the second one. And I think Michael's come out and gone, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Who's this guy? He ain't he's just the guy I fought last time. So anything is possible, and I've always believed this. Like when we went down to Mexico, into the bowels of Mexico to fight Munguia on 5 weeks' notice, and people didn't give Dennis Hogan a chance in that fight. He was paying $29, by the way, to win in a 2-horse race. And I said to Dennis, we can beat this guy. So it was just total belief that we went down, then I prepared him, and we won that fight. We damn won that fight, but we didn't get the decision. Even the Mexicans were telling us we were the champ and we won it. So like anything is, and people gave us no chance. I always believe in the impossible. It can be done. I always believe there is a way. There is a way to beat anyone on this planet, as long as you've got that belief and that commitment. So, look, when Michael is on, he's really on. When he fought Isaac Hardman that night, he was on. He just come out, he outboxed, he stopped that fight very quickly, he was on. And what we just want to see is Michael on in every fight that he has from here on in. When I watched him in Lara, as soon as he got in the ring, I went, nah, not today. He's not on. Just looked in his eyes and I just saw, nah, he's not there today. And his body language, everything in that first round, like he said, the ring rust, other things, personal things that got in the way. But as I often say, if we're meant to look backwards, our eyes would be in the back of our head. We're meant to look forward. So, and he's doing that. He's looking forward. He's putting the past behind him. He's young. He's 32. He's as hungry as ever. All he's got to do is get the right preparation, the right strategy, get in there, stay in the moment on the night. Fights are won by the second, not by the round, and deliver this stunning performance. I love to see Michael come out in this next fight, and I just want to see people say one thing: wow, wow. If they can say that at the end of the fight, that's Michael, that's boxing, and that's going to look what that's going to do for Australian boxing. Michael Zerafa versus the Tszyu. Wow, that's like David and Goliath, isn't it? But again, who won that one? Okay, so it can be done, and yeah, let's see what happens.
And I guess that is, we can say about like the partnership, but there's a bit of a roadmap for yourself, and I guess that would be what you guys sort of would be building up to, because that fight there, we spoke downstairs, like right now, it's just my flowers, whatever. You win that fight, Nikita fight, like you get all that back. You feel that way?
No, I don't feel that way, because no matter what I do, if I had beaten Lara, I beat a 41-year-old. If I lost to Lara, which I did, I lost to a 41-year-old. Same with Nikita, I beat him. They're going to say he's inexperienced, he's only had 11 fights, 12 fights, and I'm never going to get that recognition, and that's okay. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I'm here to fight. Like Tim made a statement earlier saying that Lubin's pulled out scared, doesn't want to fight him. I didn't want to have fights before Tim. I said, if someone's pulled out, put me in. I'll take that place. If it's an IBF World Title Eliminator, put me in. I'll take it. They said, oh no, look, you got to take this fight. You got to fight Nikita, and so they're shielding Tim with his brother. And if I have to go through him to get Tim, so be it. But for me, like I said, I'm not focused on them at the moment. They're just a waste of their time and breath, really. For me, I'm focused on the 28th of August, Tommy Brown. I've seen a lot of him, and I've had a lot of conversation with him too. He's a tough boy, and my name's, to him is like a world title. It's back in the mix for him if he can dethrone me. So I'm not focused on anything else. I'm going out there. Freddie Roach said as well, along with other great trainers, when Zerafa's on, no one beats him. I've been there. I was there, living there for a year, and I was sparring the best. And they said, Freddie Roach said, when this kid is on, he can't be beaten. But he also said, we don't know which Zerafa's going to rock up, which Glen also mentioned. So for me, that's what I'm focusing on the most, to get the mind and everything right. So come fight night, and I'm there. I'm hungry now. That loss I needed, I didn't want, there's a difference between want and need. You know, I needed it because it sparked now something in me where it's time to fire up now. You know, I was taking things lightly. I got very complacent, and now it's time to fire up. And it all starts the 28th of August with Glen in my corner. And you know, like I said, we're knocking Tommy Brown out.
Now let's put like maybe politics and like, you know, the public aside. Technically, boxing wise, from both of you guys, Nikita's obviously, you feel they're both beatable. They have both have flaws. I'm just talking boxing technically, not necessarily the media type of stuff. Like when you guys look at it from your boxing eyes.
I think Nikita, like in my personal opinion, Glenn might be different, but I think Nikita's got a bit more dog in him. He's a bit more, you know, he wants to fight a little bit more. But in saying that, you know, he does a lot of wrong things in terms of, you know, he leads with his head, he leaves himself open a lot. And I truly thought Ben Horn beat him in that fight. But I mean, you know, politics are politics, judges are judging, and you know, I feel like he's very, very beatable. Where Tim's a little bit more, you know, stylistically patient. He tries to pick the shots, but I don't feel like he's got a big heart. You know, behind cameras he does. You know, he finds his balls behind cameras. But when it comes fight time, where I'm standing in front of him, he's got nothing to say. They somehow go to his throat. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not even looking at them. You know, I'm just focusing on the 28th because this one might go downhill and I might get knocked out by Tommy Brown. So I'm not wasting the energy on anybody else. I've got a job to do, and that's to beat Tommy Brown.
And your thoughts technically on the Tszyu? Like, it's not. I know it's not your plan. You don't wake up in the morning and go, "We're gonna beat." It's just the fights that have happened. You've been in opposite corners from the Tszyu a couple of times.
Exactly. We fought both. Jess fought Tim, and his brothers fought Nikita. So I've been opposite both of them. Look, they're all beatable. I live by that motto. As I said, there is a way, and they all go down. They all go down. So as far as I'm concerned, it's irrelevant. I don't care really who's in. And I've got massive respect for both of the Tszyu boys, and you know, they've obviously paid their dues. And even in the amateurs, I always thought in the amateurs that Nikita was slightly better than Tim. You know, I always went, Nikita's just got that little bit more killer instinct, a little bit technically better. So, but mind you, now watching in the pros, they've sort of evolved. There's a little bit of an age difference there, and Tim's a more mature boxer than Nikita. Look, they both make mistakes, and I'm sure they'd be the first to attest to that. They make mistakes. They do get hit a lot. They realise they're in the entertainment business and they need to entertain, and you do in boxing. There's no point just dancing around there, poke for the hole. That'll put anyone to sleep. So they're exciting fighters, but they take risks. And as Michael said, they're there to be hit. Like, they get hit. We've seen Nikita get dropped by Dylan. We've seen like what Ben was doing to him late in the fight. We almost rope-a-dope Nikita in that fight. We had a plan, almost pulled it off. We had 3 weeks to get ready for that fight. That's all, you know. And I made sure I had, you know, Ben's body so hard that there's no way that Nikita could have hurt it, and it created opportunities. So look, they're all beatable, and I have studied both of those fighters very carefully. I know their weaknesses, I know their strengths, and yes, can I construct a plan to beat Nikita or Tim? Absolutely. Okay, but of course you've got to be able to execute the plan. You know, the best plan in the world doesn't work if your soldiers don't execute the plan with precision. So that discipline is critical, and as Michael said, when he's on, he's on. So the key is to get Michael on for every second of every round, okay? Because fights are won by the second, not by the round. If you can do that and stay in the zone for that whole time with that complete and utter belief in your skills, then it's just a technical exercise then from there. So yeah, that's it. Look, exciting for boxing. This is great for boxing. This is Michael versus the Tszyu. Gee, it doesn't get much bigger than that. Zerafa versus the Tszyu. So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, we'll just close it off, man. Like, it feels like good energy, and you guys must be excited about the future.
100%. And like I said, despite the Horn fights, I mean, there was no ever malice towards him. And we've had numerous conversations outside of the ring, and absolute gentleman, family man, and I couldn't be happier, couldn't be more grateful. And we're about to shock the world. We're about to spoil little tea parties. That's the plan.
Does Glen know he has to wear the tracksuit though?
Yeah, we got him one done. We got the kits already. We might have a different colour though. We got to mix it up. But
gee, I like this maroon colour.
Yeah, the maroon. So we're already starting off on a good foot. You know, we're agreeing on colours and whatnot. And but look, we're you know, full of beans, and like I said, ready to upset a lot of people.